Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Starting Out Solitary. Blind Rob here, subbing in for Corvus yet again. Yes, I'm fully aware that this video is super late. It's like a week late. I am totally sorry about that. Last week was just such a mess, absolute mess. And I thought that I had it done, had this video, recorded, only to discover some technical issues with my camera and with my computers. So I had to sort that out first. And then I also recorded this video the other day, and unfortunately that recording got corrupted for some weird reason. So this is like my third attempt. But this is week 261, and we're discussing love and how it affects, how it impacts our practice. This is a weird topic for me because whenever I hear this kind of, and this is not the first time I've heard this topic come up in conversation, but whenever I hear it, the first thing that comes to mind is, well, what kind of love are we talking about? Are we talking about romantic love, which I am sure that is what most people are going to automatically jump to when they think about love and how it impacts one's practice. But love can come in many shapes, many forms. So are we talking about romantic love, platonic love? Are we talking about love for family, love for a lover, our spouse or partner, love for a friend, what have you? Like, yeah, they're all kind of intertwined in a way, at the very basis. But the kind of love, how it's, how it comes into play, how you, like, how it drives you, and how you interact with that love and that person that you love will differ depending on the status of their their relationship with you, be they family, friend, or lover. How does love impacts my practice? Well, as I'm sure it's been said in previous videos on this channel, this is a very subjective, as with most conversations, mind you, but this is a very subjective kind of conversation because everyone is going to, deal with it, interact with it, allow it to impact them differently. But just a couple things I can think of off the top of my head of how love has impacted my practice. And I have been in love. I'm not in love right now as far as romantic love goes. I was married. I was deeply in love with my former wife. Things didn't work out. We're good. We're still good friends. That I can say, especially in this, modern society where most breaks up, most divorces are violent and nasty and lead to hatred, lead down to a road of hatred and resentment. There's a little resentment, but still, deep bond of friendship that, I cherish and what have you. But when it comes to me and love and my magic, it's what am I willing to do for a person, both the positives and the negatives. For me, the positives are, well, I've been in situations where a loved one, especially a lover, has something going on in their life, where, say, just to give an example, when I was married to my wife Kayla, and I was living in Canada, she was taking a college course. She was taking college courses to become a licensed paralegal, but she was dealing with chronic pain, and so chronic nausea. There were days where she could barely move. So I had to do a lot of the day-to-day things, cleaning, cooking, taking care of her, making sure that she's okay, making sure she eats. Getting her, bringing her, those kind of tables, those like little lap table things that you can work on at your lap, laying down or setting up or what have you. Getting her resource materials, helping her study, those kind of things. And throughout it all, I would take the time to weave, to compose little brioche charms, vocal charms, written charms. Bardic magic. So I would do a little bit of bard work, as is my tendency to do, more so than anything else, to help her get better, if not better for the long term, at least better enough that she can get the things done so that she can continue on her coursework, her studies, because it was important to her. She was putting a lot of time and money into that. And so there's that. Or, to give you another example of a family member, my dad broke his foot ending of last year, beginning of this year, and I immediately prayed to Breach, composed a brioche or two, just trying to help him out, putting as much love and caring, into that spell work, that he'll be okay. And in fact, I asked people from the various communities I'm a part of, the Bardic community, the Lokian community, the Brigidine community, asked them, hey, can you please keep my dad in your thoughts, your prayers, your workings, so that he gets better, because he's in his 80s. And his foot's broken, and as you get older, it's a lot harder to heal from. It takes a lot longer. And immediately started to work, and I knew that this particular case was like one of the best successes that I've seen in Magic, like beneficial successes in Magic, because a couple weeks afterwards he went to the doctor, and his doctor was astonished. His doctor took x-rays, and he's like, you're healing better and faster than men half your age. So like faster and better than, and his foot was healing, like improving, getting stronger, even better and faster than the average 40-some-year-old if they had broken their foot in the same way, in the same position that he did. So it's, love. I mean, emotions in general are very powerful things. Using emotion as your key, your fuel, your inspiration, your energy, your all as a part of you, to imbue and to enchant and to influence and to energize and to what have you, your spell work. Any emotion can impact it so much, but love especially. However, love can also do the same thing on the negative side of things. And it's not the spell work in of itself that I'm not proud of, because I'm one of those people. I'm very ruthless. I'll be upfront with you, as I always am. I am a ruthless person when it comes to going after someone, harming someone magically, spiritually. When I've come to the point where I believe that the best situation to deal with someone is to curse them, I go all in and I go all out. I find I more or less go for the throat. I don't like doing it, but it's something that I'm good at doing. It's something that I'm very skilled at. And there's a situation where a loved one of mine had been harmed while I was away for a couple years. And I did not find out about this until I was back in their life again. And the person who had harmed them so was a family friend, and their situation was that that justice could not be obtained against the person who caused my loved one harm. And of course, I'm of the mind that if I cannot have justice, then by the gods, I'm going to have vengeance. Did my research, as I always do. I'm very due diligent when it comes to my research to make sure that my cause is right, my cause is righteous, even if the length that I'm going to go to, even if the way I'm about to do things may not always be righteous, at least the cause in of itself is righteous. I always make sure that I'm going after the right target for the right reasons as best as I can. Obviously, mistakes can be made. It happens to all of us occasionally who do this kind of work. And I focused all the anger, the heartbrokenness, the love I had for this person, this loved one, into my magic and sent it out as a curse. Sent it out specifically as an elf shot that has been taught to me by some of my companions. And within about a month or so, the results were very blatant. Because this person was a family friend, their family were family friends. And we heard through the grapevine that more or less out of nowhere, this person suddenly had cancer. And that upon further further diagnosis, that the beginnings of the cancer, or the clues what would eventually lead to cancer, was something that was already in him and already in him for a time being, but it had only recently been activated, turned into a cancerous situation. And last I heard, and the reason why I'm not proud of this situation is not the fact that I feel guilty for, basically activating the cancer, in that person, for that situation, for better, for worse. Think of me what you will. Trust me, you don't know the details, and you would probably think differently if you did. But it was not him that I felt bad for doing this, bad for what the results of my spell work had done, but for his family, because I was on good terms with the family, and seeing them suffer made me realize, oh yeah, that went way overboard. That was overkill. I feel very bad about this. Once again, not for the person that I did this to, but for the person that, or for the people around him that was being affected by his sickness. And of course, I ended the spell work because I knew that my work had already been done. And last I heard, for the past few years, he's been having cancer, working to fight it. It goes in remission, and it comes back, or cancer in another form, in another part of the body, rears its ugly head, and he has to fight it. I just, like I said, I feel bad for the family, not for him. So yeah, love is a very powerful force, for good or for ill. It depends on what you're willing to do with it, how much you're willing to let it affect you and impact you, how much you're willing to let it take you, to drive you, to influence you. Anyway, those are just some of my thoughts and my experiences, with how love, be it positive, negative, has impacted my magic. Anyway, take care. May Breach bless and Loki guide you. Take care. Till next time.